Okay, this is my daughter. She's been very sick in many, many ways that I won't go into.
Why do you have that bright light on me?
Stop. Okay, she has multiple injuries. Yeah, that I don't want to go into, but I'm making her soak her toes. I have antibiotics.
And mental illness, which defies
what? What? You got to watch what you say on YouTube now. Okay, so the thing of it is, like I said, she's got injuries from her head down to her toe, and it is, if she doesn't get rid of this swelling and redness, we will have to put her on antibiotics tomorrow. Okay, so let's talk about the Greyhound story. I think you tell it so much better.
The lady that you went on the Greyhound with, and she sat next to you, and your leg just touched her a little bit, and she said, "Don't touch me, you pervert!" And you were like really embarrassed, like, "Lady, I didn't even try to touch you. Why are you being crazy?"
She actually thought when you get a Greyhound ticket, you get the whole seat.
Yeah,
and
she
the driver
embarrassed you so much because she acted like you were molesting her, and you.
Yeah,
were
the driver turned around and said, "Lady, you don't get a whole seat on Greyhound."
And so then. She was very rude to you, and she made you cry.
And at
you
2 a.m.
And you had to go all the way from Florida to Texas.
Yes, with her.
And we always say you have everything in your purse. And you probably even had a GUN in your purse at that point.
A what?
I'm sure you had a GUN in your purse.
What's a GU?
A GUN. Bang, bang.
Oh, no, I don't carry my gun on a Greyhound. No.
So you have everything in your purse, especially if you want to trick people and say, "You know, Monica, if you just put your foot in that salty water that's burning your flesh off, I will give you a prize." And then it's just an old piece of candy from your purse. So you probably had old rewards in there. So this lady, she fell asleep, and she put her head on your shoulder after she embarrassed you and said you were touching her.
She called me a really bad word.
Like you were molesting her.
When everybody else was sound asleep, she screams it out.
You chewed your bubble gum up.
Yes, I did.
And you let her rest her head there, and then you went.
I did not let her rest her head on me.
She did, but then you chewed gum up. You chewed like a whole pack of gum.
Oh, yes, I did.
And she had a rat's nest anyways, right? She was looking like
she had a really nice bun, but she was, yeah.
So you just kept chewing gum and spitting it into her hair.
I purposely put it in her bun.
And then later on, you got your cuticle scissors out of your purse and you started to cut her bun out.
Well, everybody.
So her bun was like half hanging off, and the rest had chewing gum all stuff. Can you imagine waking up on the Greyhound and you?
No, she never noticed because she wasn't right in the head, but I had never been so embarrassed and mortified in my life. So when we're walking through the Greyhound terminal, I walked behind her to see if the gum was going to fall out.
And did it?
Or what her hair looked like after I cut splices out. And it stuck out like a rooster's comb.
Do you know what Nan did to me on the Greyhound?
Is this appropriate for YouTube?
It was like the first time I ever rode a Greyhound, and you like warned me about it.
Yeah, you never sit in the back seat on a Greyhound.
And a man sat next to me, and he was just talking to me. He seemed very nice, but he said he had just gotten out of prison, and I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, they just give you like a bus ticket and $30. And I said, well, I'm glad that you're going home. You know, that's good. As soon as the lights went out, he grabbed my hand, and he said, just touch it. And he forced it onto his lap. And I'm like, trying to get my hand away, like, out of nowhere. I'm a 21-year-old girl, and he just grabbed my hand, and I took my hand away, and then I pretended like I was asleep.
Why, you couldn't move to another seat?
I didn't know what to do. I couldn't believe anybody would
Were
do
you
that
on the
to
back
me.
row?
No, in the middle. You said don't get in the back row.
Yeah, never sit there.
No.
So let me tell you.
You said don't ever let your suitcase out of your sight.
Because they will change buses and not tell you.
When I would get off the bus and go to the bathroom, I would say,
take everything.
I want my suitcase. And he'd be like, oh, you know, we're not stopping here. So I would stand there because I would never let my suitcase get out of my sight ever. You said
because what happened to me is I had a suitcase under the bus, and I asked the driver when we pulled up to a stop, are we changing buses? He goes, no. I come back out, the whole bus is gone, and they switched buses after he told me I never saw my suitcase. Now, let me tell you the rest of the story. I was on the bus when a whole lot of prisoners got out of jail, and you can tell they all have this manila envelope, and they exactly they all have a manila envelope, and they have like a brand new white t-shirt and jail shoes, I think.
Yes.
So I happened to mention that I had something in my luggage, right?
Lawrence came home and
Yeah.
what he was arrested in. I said, "Do they even wash it? Like, is there going to be bloody pants or whatever?" He's like, "Yeah, they wash it." He goes, "But he'll just have a shirt and he'll have pants that are all ripped up and roofing boots." And that's what he came home in, roofing boots.
Yeah, well, so when I mentioned that I had something in my luggage, the prisoner stole it. So,
What did you have in there?
well, that's not part of that. That's not important.
Was it your GUN?
No, it was not. It's just something that I should not have told anybody. Okay.
What was it?
I'm not telling. All right. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. What was in there?